show. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, Arielle Loewen. Welcome back to the show. This is
Thank you.
your now second time on the show. First time by yourself, though.
That's right. Yeah, thanks for having me again. Love it.
Absolutely. Love to have you on the show. It's funny because we talk all the time. Like we've chatted back and forth. I've had you on the podcast, but we've never met in person. And we've been in the same places, and
Right.
we've tried to, like, I've tried to, like, track you down, but, you've been busy and doing, kinda running around and doing your thing, but, how are you? How has everything been going since the games? And kind of give the whole life update and everything.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love it because I think you've met my friend Jody, but
Yes.
never met me because always competition weekend. It's like here, then there, go time, relax time, recover time. But
Yeah,
eventually one
Jody
day,
and I text back and forth all the time.
yeah,
Like, we talk all the time. We saw each other at the games, we hung out, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so life has been amazing, as you can imagine. Rogue is the end of October. So I have exactly 3 weeks of like hard training, and then I'll have a week of recovery, and then it's go time. So physically, I don't feel like I'm in the off season yet from the games because
Okay.
after Rogue is when I officially relax and bake all the pumpkin breads and desserts. And then I have that. And then October 18th, I have a large speaking event in Abilene. So October for me is a pretty big month. So I feel like the games are busy, but October is just as busy.
Oh, very cool. So, like, what kind of speaking engagement?
It's called the FCA. I don't know if they
Okay.
have it in Florida. Fellowship of
Fellowship of
Christian
Christian
Athletes.
Athletes.
Yeah. So they have an
Absolutely.
event called Fields of Faith, which basically they rent out a football stadium and they invite all the high school, junior high, college kids from the surrounding area. And they have a guest speaker. And this year they just so happened to ask me.
I'm gonna throw this comment up on there because I've never met you in person. Wad Zombie said that you're way more jacked in person.
Right. That's
There it
right.
is.
That's why I have to wear a t-shirt to like don't want to see too much, get too intimidated.
Gotta go baggy t-shirt and the pumpkins. You went pumpkin today.
I did
Um, it's
my favorite
fall.
shirt at the moment.
Yeah, it's fall. It is officially lower than 90 degrees in Florida,
Wow.
which we call summer light,
Yep.
which are there are 2 seasons. So
But
we've got
still
some.
humid, right?
Oh, it is so humid. I'm actually leaving, wait, what's today? I'm leaving on Saturday to go to the Smoky Mountains,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
me and my 2 brothers are gonna go hike the Smoky Mountains for 3 days, camping, like, hammock style, tent style, like, for 3 days in the Smoky Mountains, which is not generally something I do.
Have you ever done that before?
No, no.
Okay.
No, not like that. Like, I've gone glamping,
Okay.
where it'll be, like
Yeah.
a tent, have a nice tent or have an RV or something, but not like full on, we're going into the woods and hopefully coming back.
Have they done it before?
Well, my younger brother is a, um, Marine.
Okay.
He's a United States Marine. So, yeah, he's camped and done all that sort of stuff. My older brother, he's pretty big into nature and doing stuff. Like, he'll go hunting and that sort of stuff. I don't know that he's like gone like full on camping like this. It's definitely the first time the three of us have done it together.
As long as
Um,
one person knows what they're doing, I feel like then you're good.
we're trusting the Marine. Yes,
Good.
we're he's recon, so he's well knowledged in all safety. It's just he's the only one that's not allowed to like get hurt. He's, hey, you're the guy. You're the one that's going to get us in and get us out. So don't go falling
Right.
down a mountain or anything or getting attacked by a bear. But
Oh, great.
we looked at the weather, and I'm from Florida. I mean, you're from Texas. You get it.
Yeah.
The heat. There's supposed to be a cold front coming in this weekend that's coming
Okay.
across the states, and it's going to drop it into like the 30s
What?
while we're on the mountain. So I'm like, ugh.
That's even colder. Mountain temperature is colder.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
So it's gonna be nice. I'll set up right next to the fire.
Do you own a
Um,
jacket because you live in
yes,
Florida? Okay, good.
yes. I've got jackets. I've got, he's hooking me up with some wool socks, and I
Mm,
got my gear, my cold weather gear. And that's only for the night times. At
okay.
the daytime, it should be manageable at that
Okay.
point.
Well, speaking of
So
cold, we
yeah.
actually, sorry to cut you off, we actually just got a chili go. which is
I
like
saw.
very cold plunging. So I'm dabbling in it for the first time. You're
Okay.
gonna be dabbling in it for the first time. It's a
Yeah.
it's a different game.
Except you can get out of that. I'm not
That's
gonna be able
true.
to get I can't get off the mountain. So it's neat because as I told you before we got online that, things look different on the Wexappeal podcast. We're actually
Yep.
live and people are popping in and asking questions.
Oh,
One of them was, were the blue cushions your choice? I'm
yes.
I'm
I
I'm talking about apparently the ones behind you there.
Thanks, Jake. I like gray, black, and blue. So we have, if you can see behind us, we have an art picture that I actually got from Germany mailed over, and it has touches of gray, black, and blue. So the blue is the only color that I'll like pop out and pull out. And then our rug has a splash of blue on it as well. So they were
Nice.
my choice.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
Um, and it's funny because like I've got the chat going and also everybody's like they can't keep up with you because you're
I
doing so
love
many
it.
shows and you're just busy and speaking and doing all this stuff.
That's great.
Um, has it kind of been an adjustment period for you? Like, kind of, you came on the scene. We talked about it on the last episode that we did. Just kind of, you showed up at, it was Granite, right? Just to get the
Yeah.
name plaque, and now it's like, boom, this whole new direction of life that you weren't necessarily planning on.
Yeah, it's beautiful because I wasn't planning on it and it's flourished into better than I could have ever expected. But what I've noticed since after the games till now is everybody wants my time in some capacity. So it's learning how to prioritize what's important, what should I say yes to, and what can I say yes to but might mentally drain me. So just learning, like everybody wants like, come here, come see me, come see this. And I'm like, I physically can't. And mentally also, I'm really overwhelmed and I can't.
Yeah.
But I will always make time for podcasts because they're fun. And I don't get to meet many people because I work out alone. But this
Mhm.
is the way to connect with awesome people and people ask questions I love responding to.
And I love it. You've always been so nice. And before we go anywhere, I would just want to say thank you publicly
You're
because
welcome.
I put it out there that I was like, "Oh, I got her trading card and, I didn't get to run into her at the games. I'll get it signed eventually." And you popped on there, you're like, "Hey, DM me your address," and you sent over a card that has now been stolen by my daughter,
Oh,
Stella.
yeah. Do you
She
need
stole
another one?
well, she no, the card that you wrote along with
Oh,
it, like
that's
the thank you
so
for support and all
sweet.
that sort of stuff, so she has that. I gave her the other card, she put that up on
Oh,
her mantle with with the card with the card that you wrote and everything, and thank you so much for doing that. Our whole
you're
family got a
welcome.
kick out of it.
Yeah, I love it. Because, like you said, I feel like we're friends, but we've never met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, half of it is my fault that we've never met because I don't allot time. So I was like, I can do this and at least meet over over the mail.
So, I will ask this, I'll just go ahead and put it out there for Miami.
Yeah.
Are you getting the band back together? Are you thinking about going individual? Or are you just kind of taking time all together?
Yeah. Miami is always the question mark. Games priority, rogue priority. Miami is the question mark. If I feel good mentally, physically, I would like to go individual this year.
Ah,
Unless I enjoyed the team last year, it was a blast, but I think Carrie is done.
yeah.
So we'd have to bring in a new team member anyways. The only way I'd go team is I would love to be on a team with Laura Horvath. So if she asks me, I'll go team. If
Alright.
not, like I'm completely fine with individual. If I feel good, no aches and pains, mentally I'm ready for it.
FYI, we're taking this clip. I'm tagging her. I'm putting it out there to
Right.
see if we can get you guys on a team.
I
So
love it.
so you're saying you, Laura, and bring Alex back?
Honestly,
Or
whoever. I really got to know Laura's heart at the games and I just kind of fell in love with her. And I'm like, she's so awesome. And she's not someone, I think she's an amazing athlete. And I'm like, if she
oh,
would
yeah.
want me on her team, I think that's a huge compliment. So if she asks, I'll say yes. If she doesn't, no hard feelings. So I'll
Got
see
it.
her at Rogue. I might plant a little seed or just kind of see what she's thinking, go from there.
I love it. Somebody said, let's see, who did they say?
That'd be
Lori,
cool.
Gabby,
That'd
and
be cool.
you would be unstoppable. That's
Mhm.
Yeah, people are throwing out the ideas, and I love it. One of the
Yeah.
questions I was going around asking athletes at the games, and I'll throw this out there to you because it's something that is near and dear to my heart that I've been pitching. I even pitched it to Don Fall last week.
Ooh.
Was I would love to see a pro-am event. So a pro CrossFit Games athlete,
Okay.
such as yourself, and a fitness person, whether it be a athlete from another sport, a celebrity who's just super fit and loves CrossFit, you name it, take it from any other thing, and doing similar to how they do the Legends competition or the
Mhm.
Legends at Rogue, where they team people up, and it's for fun, but there's a little bit of that, back and forth as far as the athletes, but have, a CrossFit Games athlete with we'll just say celebrity come in and do some workouts. So if that were the case and somebody, you were picked as the athlete, who would you want to go with, male or female, as a
Uh,
celebrity?
yeah, I already know.
Oh, go ahead.
I already know. Simone Biles. Not
Ooh.
because I would want to beat her, but I just think she's the GOAT.
No, no,
And
you'd
I
be a
would,
team.
yeah, I would
You'd
love
be a
to meet
team.
her. Yeah, I would selfishly just want a picture with her and shake her hand in person.
That's
Absolutely. And I'd be like, I don't care if we win or lose. I got to meet you.
that's awesome. That is
Mhm.
awesome. Yeah, Simone Biles that would be awesome. I'm gonna put that one out there together. So I did a whole like guys series of it,
Okay.
so it was like Rich Froning and Seth Rollins from the WWE.
Oh, oh, I
Like
see. Okay.
and like doing, I think I picked Chandler Smith and The Rock
That'd be
because
fun.
they're both, he's a actual military and The Rock was in GI Joe. Just have and I made up funny little, names for it. So I think that'd be fun. So you and Simone Biles, I'm putting that one out there. That's cool.
Good.
Um so as far as like you know we've kind of seen the transition from you coming from, like I said, not really thinking you're going to do this to going on to now being one of the best in the sport and finally hitting the podium this year. What were your I want to go back and like see what your plans were before that. Like what was your plans like to do for, a career? If the
Yeah.
Granite Games were just to get a name plaque, like what was your idea?
I I have an MBA, so Master's in Business Administration. I wanted to do something business wise, marketing wise. So I did work at a college for a season in their business office. I was the mean person who, if they didn't pay their bills, I had to call them and be like, hey, you owe X amount of money. What's your plan on paying this off? Let's get it together, set it up. So I did that for a season. And then whenever I had Blakely, I actually still did it from home. And then COVID hit and they had to let me go. But my dream would be, I would love to somehow like team up, partner with my husband. He builds the house, I sell it, or he installs and sells garage doors. I'm the marketing person behind it to set up calls and all that stuff. I guess that's what I'd say, but I do want to be a stay-at-home mom. So like I
Yeah.
knew having a child, if financially our family could afford it, I want to soak up the first 5 years and work will be there after she goes to school.
That's awesome, and I've seen her pop her head in a couple times. It's just like, "Hey, what's
I
going
always
on out there?"
say every day is bring your kid to work day. So thanks for bearing with
Yeah.
me.
Well, it's okay. My oldest daughter popped her head in as well and
Oh,
was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Because Stella's actually on her way to gymnastics here in just a little bit, so she's
fun.
off and doing her thing. But I don't know that I could see you sitting in an office like
No.
calling people up and just being like,
Oh, it was miserable. And the office I had didn't have a window. So
"Oh,
it felt like I was in a closet all day. I was pregnant at the time. So just like sitting down, being fat all day, calling people on the phone. It was miserable. But it really made me appreciate people who work 8 to 5 because you wake up, you go to work. For me, after 5, I would always go to the 5:30 CrossFit class. I wouldn't get
mhm,
home till 7. By the time you shower and eat, you're going back to bed doing it all over again. I'm like,
yeah."
how do people who work full time find mentally the time to do stuff? Like, how do you go to the dentist, get your car taken care of? Like, your whole day's at work.
Yeah, that's essentially so my wife works at the school
Yeah.
that our kids go to. And it was kind of a cool situation. She was able to work with them so she's at the school, kids are at the school, so she doesn't have to be far away from them, which is a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Yeah.
So, sometimes she's like, I really wish my desk was somewhere else when I didn't have to see my
Mhm.
kids every single day. But at the same time, she gets to interact and be part of their lives still.
Oh yeah.
And but yeah, is the front desk coordinator and administrator, so she's the one calling people and being like, hey,
Well,
you owe us money. We gotta figure
yep.
this out, and
Well, and the two things you never want to talk to people about are money and kids. So she's thrown right into those two hot topics.
she's doing both. Yes,
Yeah.
it doesn't help that our 3-year-old runs baby fight club in
Mhm.
the in
That's right.
in his little pre-K, or like, it's not even pre-K, the little daycare. Him and this other boy, they have a little, baby fight club, and the rule is you just don't talk about fight club.
Uh,
um So you're getting ready for Rogue,
right.
and you just heard the announcement that the CrossFit Games are going to be a home game for you next
Right.
year, right down the road. So what are your thoughts there? Like, how do you like it? Do you go to Fort Worth often? Do you know Fort Worth? Like, how
I've only been to Fort Worth a handful of times. Last time I was there was for a Post Malone concert, so it's been a
nice?
minute. But I'm a little disappointed with the announcement because I think of Texas, I think of outdoor events. North Park was beautiful because it was outdoor and you can like
Mhm.
see the sunshine and all that. It sounds like 95% of it we're going to be in the Coliseum and it's just going to look different. I don't know what that is yet, but so I'm not excited about there's not as much outdoor, but I'm really excited about I probably already have 100 people who have said they've booked Airbnbs, hotel rooms that have said for years, we're going to Madison, and now they're like, we're sick of waiting. It's in Texas, we're going to watch you.
Yeah.
So, Lord willing, I qualify. The fan section is going to be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be amazing. You're gonna have
Yeah.
signs of your face like
Oh my.
everywhere, all over the
And
place.
yeah, so I just hope I can qualify again just to hear like all of my friends and everybody screaming. So we'll see.
I love it. I love it. In talking to Donfall, it's fun. It's fun with him because you got to like try and like get answers out and see if you can like figure things out. And I'm like, I know you guys said 95%
I know.
indoors. That doesn't just mean the Dickies Arena, right? And he's like, well, so
Mhm.
there might be some stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I I think it would be amazing to do a Friday Night Lights at the football stadium
wouldn't that
that's
be
what, a
awesome?
couple, a mile or a couple blocks away. Just I'm
Yep.
looking at a Google sheet, so I don't know, how far it is away.
Yeah,
But do a Friday Night Lights, under the lights,
yeah,
outdoor. I think that would be amazing,
I agree.
to get it out there and get it,
Yeah,
get the community just popping. I think that would be
I
fun.
know. And I mean, it's Texas. Friday night football, Friday night lights. It's right
Exactly.
up our alley.
Exactly. Florida is just as big in football. Like,
Love it.
we love it. So, do you follow football at all?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
All
I
I
was just
know, all I know is that Taylor Swift just put Travis Kelsey on the map. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
That's the funniest. Yeah, there are memes everywhere.
Oh, the jersey sales have gone crazy. He is
Ridiculous.
he is now one of the most sold jerseys in all of the NFL. Um,
Ridiculous. That's
just
all I follow is what the memes say.
even if they're not dating, it's a great marketing.
Really great.
It's
It shows
really
the power of her influence.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that blows my mind.
Yeah, it's incredible. And that kind of goes to, what I was saying with the Pro-Am event. Like, I wanna get the influence from other people
Yeah.
looking at CrossFit and seeing CrossFit and, kinda getting involved and, like, "Hey, wow, these people do it. I had no idea that," I actually ran into Seth Rollins at the games, which was amazing. The WWE champ, just
Wow.
walking around. He was at the tier
Oh, cool.
booth. I was like, "Oh, cool. I'm gonna go say hi."
Yeah.
Um, so what are some things? So you said Rogue is the big priority. The games, of course, the big priority.
Right.
Like, what does the rest of the year look like for you? As far as, do you put a lot into the Open? Coming up, I know a lot of the focus on the Open has been just like, we'll do it, and we'll kind of get to the next stage and get to quarterfinals and get to the next stage to get to semifinals where we really like nail down, what we're trying to do.
Right. After Rogue, I have an awesome strength programmer named Brian Rideout. Usually after a competition, we'll debrief of like what do we want the season to look like? What were my holes last season? What do I want to work on this season? So he'll build me a strength program. So I'll still be doing like 30 minutes of cardio a day and then his strength program. So my training stays relative all year round, but I just really ramp it up as it gets closer to competition. So for me, it just looks a little bit more like having fun in the gym, not stressing about hitting really horrible time domains that I'm on the floor dying. But really, the gym part doesn't change for me much. It's more of the outer gym stuff. So I'll say yes to a lot more things like going and traveling and visiting a friend, or going and seeing my parents a little bit more, cooking, baking a few things that I probably wouldn't eat 3 weeks out from Rogue. So just
Sure.
living life a little bit more, getting a little bit more fluffy for the off season, and then I'll get shredded when I need to.
I love it. And it's so cool because like you see a lot of the other athletes and all you see is, work, 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 work. And
Mhm.
they're in the gym or they're doing this or they're doing that. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do a bake, a whole baking thing and a baking channel or like a
It's
baking
so fun.
like section and I'm gonna, go do these events and this. Like, is that just kind of like your downtime thing, like, that you just love to do, just kind of to unwind?
Yeah, Blakely and I love to do it together. So
Yeah.
if it were up to us, we would bake something every day. But I also know that temptation is really high for us because if you bake it, you've got to eat it. And
Yeah.
then it's here for a week long at a time. So I just know like I can't handle that type of temptation. But once Rogue is over, like we'll start preparing for Thanksgiving and all that. But I enjoy doing stuff together. Working out in the gym is just me and my training partners. After like the Rogue, off season is more like, okay, Blakely, what do we want to do together? Bake, Chuck E. Cheese, all the things, togetherness.
Love it, love it. Somebody somebody commented, Elise commented, "Never seen Ariel fluffy."
I know. My husband will give me crap because even after the games, I took off a solid 3 weeks. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks, did nothing. And I was like, oh, I don't feel as strong. I don't feel as muscular. But it's all relative because it's
Yeah,
like nothing changed in 3 weeks. It's just a mindset thing. My mindset will be fluffy. I might
yeah.
not appear it, but I'll embrace it internally.
I say all the time, I wanna look like I can lift heavy, but also don't turn down a cookie.
That's
Like
right.
like,
Yeah.
that's
Health.
that's that's kinda where I'm at, which is crazy because I've been doing a whole, training program with Thunderbro right now.
Mm,
Ended up losing a whole bunch of weight, but actually all my, you know, lifts are actually going up. So it's, a good balance. So I'm down
wow.
like 21, 22 pounds, but just PR'd my bench press today. So I'm like,
That's
"Uh,
amazing.
all right." I'm like, "Let's go. We're getting strong and
What'd you
trying to."
get? What'd you PR?
So I have a little bit of a shoulder issue on my left shoulder. So like usually it's becomes a problem. But 235
That's awesome.
was my bench today, and I'm happy with that. Also did but I was able to do 235 overhead, with a push press for I think two or three,
Love it.
which is it's fun seeing those numbers kind of come back because
Yeah.
for a while I was getting stronger, but keeping a whole bunch of weight. Now I'm trying to get that in between where I feel good when I look at myself in the mirror and things like that, but also that the performance in the gym is right there with it. So
Yeah. And it's a science
it is.
to get both of those to line up.
So somebody said you're thinking about that's your PR too.
Nope.
No, I'm pretty
My
sure you could
bench.
probably outbench me.
So my bench PR, we had to bench in quarterfinals
Mhm.
2022 was 201. So you've got me.
Okay. Not not by much though.
You still got me. Counts.
It counts.
That's right.
I'll take that. I beat a games athlete. I'm there.
That's right.
Um, what from this year? What was your? Obviously, we can probably guess what the high was for you this
Right.
year at the games. But what was? I always like to see kind of the adversity side of it as well. So we know high podium. and that. But were there any moments that were low for you at this year's games? And if there were, how did you kind of turn that around, or how did you move past that?
I guess the lowest I felt at this year's games was after the sandbag ski event, which was 30 20. You did 30 cal ski, 30 squats with the sandbag, 20 20. And I
Mhm.
got 17th place, which was my lowest event. And it's my lowest event, it's my worst event, but I never had a moment at the games where I felt defeated or discouraged. Like that event backstage, I could only do 2 reps with the sandbag and then it would fall off and I would get fatigued and have to bend over and breathe. Try it again, it would fall immediately off. So my warm up for that event, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to get through all 30 reps because this is really hard for me and I can only do 2 at a time.
Mhm.
And everybody I'm watching on the live feed, the replay, they're going unbroken. Like mentally going into that event was really hard for me. And then I get out there and I do 28 unbroken, drop it, and then finish 2. So even my 17th worst place event, I was like, thank goodness. That could have gone horrible, but I will take 17th place. Like, absolutely. I was super proud of that because it could have been a disaster. Like, horrible.
Yeah, it's funny, the sandbag does that,
Yeah.
because, I mean, you go back to 2021? 22? No, what year are we in? 22, with the sandbag, um,
Oh, the
to
Capitol.
shoulder. Yeah, no, the sandbag to shoulder. The one where backstage
Oh,
nobody could get the
yeah,
weight up into their
exactly.
lap and onto their shoulder, and then everybody PR'd like crazy when they got out onto the floor, the adrenaline
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. Do
But
you
like
think
somehow, whenever I cleaned the first rep of the 30, somehow, like obviously I prayed for help, but it landed in the perfect position and I was able to squeeze it with my fingers and just go to town. And I was like, this is amazing. I was
love it.
expecting only 2 reps. So I never
It
had a moment where I felt like I was defeated, crushed. Now I've got to claw my way out to get back to the top.
But it also seems like there are times when you're struggling with something, and then it just, like you said, just
It
lands
just worked.
perfect. It's like,
Yep.
man, you get that perfect grip when you pull up onto the bar, and it's like, okay, everything landed just right. I'm able to
Yep.
just kind of go all day. That's cool. I always like to see how people deal with adversity and how they deal with it differently. Because I mean, going into that event, it very easily you could have kind of checked out,
Yeah.
knowing that you were struggling with it in the back, and then coming out and just basically smashing it. 28,
I'll take it. Yeah. And
28
with
unbroken.
Carrie, we had a Carrie Pierce approach all weekend, which she threw this out there at semifinals, and I just thought it was so wise. She said everybody likes to look at, oh, if I got 3 more reps, I would have been 10th place. If I got 2 more seconds faster, I would have been this place. She's like, nobody ever looks at what would have happened if you would have been 1 second slower or 10 seconds slower or didn't get that last rep. So I think if I would have not gotten, like if I would have gotten 7 reps out of the 20 instead of 8 out of the 20, it would have put me in 24th place.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, thank goodness I got what I got, and I'm happy with 17th. Because my ultimate goal for the games was to not place lower than 20th in any event. So I was happy with that.
Nice. And so, which of the events was your favorite out of all of them, if you could pick one?
I have a few. So I really liked Helena because
Hmm.
I surprised myself. I really liked the 5K because I surprised myself. But my favorite event to do was probably the ring muscle up sandbag one because it was just so fun to like practically take the sandbag, get it over the 3, do ring muscle ups, get over the log yourself. Like it was very practical, very easy to follow, and the flow of it was kind of fun too.
Yeah, and you're outside, and you just
Yeah,
kind of in the air, and
get
throwing
over the
things around.
log.
Yeah, just get over the log.
Good.
I like things that are kind of outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of, I don't say odd object, but it is odd object.
Yeah, it is.
But like kind of that like a Spartan race style. Like
Yeah.
I'm all down for obstacles and things like that. I
Yeah.
think that's just fun. Um,
Yeah.
are there any other sports, like, outside of CrossFit that you kinda dabble in and play around with? Whether it be, like, do you go and do the local 5K, or do you go and do any of the mud runs or anything like that?
No, the only thing I'll do is Blakely and I will ride bikes in the evening occasionally.
Yeah.
Or like I'll watch my husband play golf, but I won't actually play. I don't know. I'm not really a team sports person. I tried pickleball, wasn't my favorite. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
content. I'll put it that way. I'm very content with not doing a sport ever again.
I haven't jumped into the pickleball thing, but I
Yep.
see people all over the place wanting to, play pickleball and do that. Eh,
Hmm.
I don't know. I might jump into it, but you gotta buy equipment, and then you gotta find people to play with, and it's like,
Exactly.
ah. Um, the Now, does Blakely do any sports? Or is she
Yeah,
gonna be jumping into any sports here soon?
she does gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
And
Fantastic.
I didn't realize like you have to sign a kid up for soccer, and I passed the window. So in the spring, I'm gonna try signing her up for soccer because she's shown interest in it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Hmm.
I have, obviously you've met Stella.
Yep.
So she does gymnastics and she does CrossFit. And then my oldest boy, he's 6. He does baseball. He
Fun.
does soccer at school. And in January, he's on me all the time about signing him up for flag football.
Fun.
He's like, I want to play flag football. Don't forget to sign me up for flag football. I want to
Aw.
play. So, you know, with the 4 kids, it's you just gotta kind of manage where you can and get them into the sport that you can, but I find myself on the baseball field, 2 nights a week, now, going out there throwing with them and,
Yeah,
out there helping the coaches and practice and all that, so,
that's fun. Dad stuff.
yeah, it does stuff, but,
Yeah,
getting out there and doing stuff with the kids is just a blast.
it is.
Um, is she loving gymnastics? Like, is she,
Loves
like,
it. Loves
getting
it.
right
And
into it?
I was a gymnastics coach for 6 years of my life. So for quite a while while I was in high school and college, I coached gymnastics. So every time I go there, they're like, Ariel, if you want to coach, please, we'd love to have you. And I'm like, I'm really enjoying the season of my life where I just sit and watch. And I was like, I personally like the money is not even money won't entice me. I just want to be present and watch her do it. And she
Yeah.
loves it. And the program she's in, they do a great mixture of fun and learning new skills. So it's just fun to watch.
And I'm actually in that same season because I was coaching his baseball team for the past 3 years.
Oh wow.
This is like his 6th season, so 2 seasons a year. So I've been his coach pretty much throughout his baseball career. And
Right.
this year we changed leagues and I was like, "You know what? I don't wanna coach. I wanna be the dad."
It's
I want
peaceful, isn't
It's
it?
peaceful. It's so nice. And
Yeah.
like I'll catch I will have to catch myself, every once in a while being like, "Nope, let the
Me
coach do it."
too. Me
Let the
too.
coach do it. It just
Yep.
I'm gonna sit here and be quiet. And then maybe, if we're practicing or doing something at home, I'll be like, okay, hey, try this.
Yeah.
Or hey, do that. But
I'm the same way.
I try very carefully not to like step over the coach and
Yes.
and do that.
Yeah. And I always, if I feel it stir up inside me, like the coach is going to come out, I'm like, she's 4. This is for fun. Who
Yeah.
cares? If she's smiling at the end of practice, don't say anything. And then I'll tell my husband later and he'll be like, oh, that's so silly. Like I'll express it to him, but I'm like, the last thing I want to be is that parent who's like, my coach is great. When is she going to the advanced class? And she can do this. I'm like, they've coached, they know it, they can see it. It's just for fun.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
she's got time. She's 4.
Exactly.
She's
Yeah,
got plenty
exactly.
plenty of time to be competitive and do all that sort of thing.
Right.
You so you have literally done all sorts of things. So you are a coach and, and do that. So how long did you do gymnastics?
I did gymnastics from 4 years old till 15. And then at 15, I one day stepped into the gym and I was just scared of everything.
Hmm,
Beam, I was scared to like miss a foot, fall off, just thinking of all these situations where I could get hurt. And I was like, you know what? I've done this so long. Why? And so one day I was just like, I'm done. And then I transitioned to cheer, track, and then started coaching. So I
gotcha.
had a great foundational base. And I felt like I was a decent gymnast, but I was just done. At one day I was just done.
Yeah. And it's important to know that.
Right.
Like know when, hey, no, it's time. Like it's
Mhm.
it's just this isn't fun anymore. This doesn't bring me joy. Let me find something else that does.
Exactly.
Hopefully that's not CrossFit for a long time.
I know, right?
I'm like, "Don't you come up and just be like, 'Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done. I did it. I'm good.'"
Right.
But what does that look like for you as far as, kind of going forward into, into your career? Are there things that you're wanting to do later, or is it just kind of we're playing everything year by year and just, you know what? I'm still enjoying it, so let's just keep going.
It's hard because me and Dylan had this conversation last night. Between you and I was like, man, how do I know when I'm going to be done? I would love to go out on top, love to go out peaceful, seamless, but every year like gets better for me. But there'll come a time when every year does not get better. So I'm like, you know what? If I win Rogue, then we'll talk about starting a family and maybe I'll step away. And he was like, why? And so it's like, how do you know when to be like, this is great, I'm content, this is enough? But as of right now, like, I'm enjoying it, I'm having fun with it, I'm still improving, getting stronger. So I don't think I could step away just yet, but like, I'm a realist. There will be a time. I
Yeah,
just don't know when that time is.
just don't know when. Oh,
I don't
well,
know when.
like I said, none of us want that time.
Exactly. Yeah, me
we,
either.
we we like seeing you out there
Thank you.
and just you are like really you are one of those bright lights in the sport that it's just
Yeah.
like, man, I just love watching you because of the joy that you bring out onto the floor with you, whether you are struggling in an event or not. Like you always seem to still have a smile on your face and you're enjoying everything and just literally I had this conversation with someone. Oh, and I have to pivot for a second,
Go ahead.
because a friend of mine who goes to the gym with me, wanted me to tell you that he is absolutely he loves you, and his
Aw,
name is Ryan Lilly.
Ryan Lily.
And he
Okay.
said he's always in your DMs and you always answer him and talk back to him, and he's like, she's awesome and she's just the sweetest person in the world. So he's like, make sure shout that out on the podcast. So
Thanks, Ryan. I
I
wish I
had
had more cards. I'd be like, you get a card, you get a card, you get a card.
You well, there's somebody in the chat that could help with that.
Oh, one zombie,
Yeah,
yeah.
Wad Zombie's down there. He says, "I'll quit after Laura and I go
Perfect.
team."
Yeah, that was technically my 2022 card.
Okay.
So I'll have to talk to Wad Zombie. Like, do we update it every year? How does that look? He's the guy
Yeah.
who would know more than me. But that's so
Abs
sweet. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, so what were we talking about? Oh, and I was just talking about how you're a light on the floor. Like, you are the sweetest person in CrossFit. Like,
Thank
but,
you.
similar to the last conversation we had is that, you have this humility and you have this, this sweetness. But at the same time, you go out there and you put up. You
Yeah.
definitely you're definitely there to play and you're a contender every time you step on the floor. So how do you balance that? Like is there this like angry Ariel that comes out that's just like, I'm just gonna rip this barbell or I'm gonna, kill this event? Or is it just like sweet all the time?
Yeah, no. I work really hard when nobody's watching. So it's easy for me to go out there and do well because I train my butt off in my gym. So that's where a little bit of the joy comes from because it's like I'm training hard. I feel like I'm exhausted. I'm pushing my body to the limit. And then I step out on the floor and I've done everything I needed to prepare and I feel great and I perform great. And I'm like, this is amazing. But it was cool because I had Rogue reach out and sent
Mhm.
a production team. They're going to have an awesome thing come out soon.
Oh,
And
very cool.
even the guys that were here made me feel good because they're like, what you have that you're doing for programming and how I set up, they're like, it's special. We see a lot of elite athletes, we've seen a lot of things, but what you're doing is special.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Did
you.
you
I feel like I work hard. I feel like I don't do the most, but I do a lot, and it's working for me.
and you get the mom strength.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. That's nice too.
and I've been told there is science behind that actually.
Really
That, and it has something to do with a whole bunch of science things that I don't understand with, like, hormones and things that happen after you have a child, and that mom strength is a real scientific fact.
interesting.
Um, so, I mean, that's kind of scary with Tia coming back to Rogue.
I know, but it's so soon. I
I
can't
know,
even fathom
I know.
everything being healed internally.
Yeah,
But everybody's journey is different. That's what I tell myself. I'm like, if she feels good, awesome.
yeah.
But I
So
did not feel good that soon after.
and you're like, "And if I can crush her." I will. Now is the chance.
It would be wild. It would
Everybody's
be
like, now
wild.
is the time.
Work harder. Yeah.
um, yeah. So, I mean, is there a sibling plan for Blakely? Like,
This
later
is
on?
the first year she's ever asked for one.
Uh-huh.
Normally, we'll ask her, or she'll say, like, I want a cat, I want a cat. But after the games, I think it was after the games, she literally came up and said, like, I want a sister. And she's
Uh-huh.
never expressed that before. Me and my husband hasn't talked about it because it's not the forefront of our minds. And so now we've like opened the conversation of like, she's never asked, what do we say? It's not that easy, So we're just in
Yeah.
the works of like, if you want one, you just like pray to God for it.
Yeah.
And
You
that's
just
all
gotta
we can say. Yeah.
just kind of figure out, hey, is
Right.
is this gonna work or not? She better be careful because she might end up with a brother. That's a whole
Exactly.
different.
That's what we
That's
said. Not
it's like
guaranteed.
it's a 50-50 shot. You don't just call it.
Right, right. So like selfishly, I don't want that personally.
Yeah.
But when I think of her and a sibling, and I grew up with siblings and how great it is, I'm like, it's bigger than just me and CrossFit. So
Yeah.
hopefully when the time is right, me and my husband will know. I don't want it to be yet, but to me, winning something as big as Rogue is like such a God thing that it's like, hey God, if you want me to give Blakely a sibling, show me by letting me win Rogue. Like that'll be a clear sign.
Careful putting those fleeces out there.
I know, yeah, but I'm like, no, I don't want to win Rogue. I don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And like I said, 4 kids. We only planned on 3. The 4th one was just kind of like, oh,
Hello.
hey, surprise.
Right.
And now that he's here, it's like
Oh yeah.
we couldn't imagine anything any other way. It's just this is our family and this is what we have and this is kind of how it works. So it's cool either way. But like I said, want to
Right.
want to keep you in the sport. And
Yeah. What's one more year? I gotta
yeah.
do the Texas year.
Yeah. Oh, I
Mhm.
absolutely you have to do the Texas
Right.
year. Any thoughts on if they're gonna stay in Texas, or you think they're gonna, try and branch out?
I don't know. So I really liked that Madison felt like a vacation. Different climate, different agriculture, different everything, green grass. Fort Worth is so similar to where we are that I don't know how special or separate it'll feel. It
Yeah.
all just depends on the first year. I might love it and say, like, I hope it stays here forever, but literally nobody knows.
Yeah.
Could
And
be.
that I've reserved my judgment as well because I'm pretty sure I said when Madison came about, I'm like, "Madison? Really?
Yep.
Why? Who wants to go to Madison?"
Right.
And now again, it's like one of those things, it's like, "Oh, it's such a great city and it was so amazing to go there." And like you said, it was like a vacation. I had my burger spot that I'd go and get my burger every single
Exactly.
year. There's
Where
the
would
best.
you go?
I went to the Old Fashioned.
Okay. That was your
Uh,
favorite?
Favorite. Like,
Okay.
hands down, it is my favorite burger I've ever had, ever.
Really?
Tested it a few times
What?
to see because
Okay.
the first time I had it, I was super hungry, and, kind of, when you're really hungry and you finally get your food and you're like, "Oh, that was the best thing I've ever eaten in my life."
Yeah.
So, I went back the next year, and I'm like, "Okay, not, like, crazy hungry. I just wanna go and try it and see if
It
it's
was
as good
awesome.
as it was," and it was just as good, and it's been just as good every single year, so I will miss that.
Yes.
Um,
That's
that
how we
is
are too. We have our favorite restaurants. Like every night we'd go to the boathouse by the river. And I'm like, those are special memories. They'll
yeah,
stay special, but that came with the games. Now I don't know where we'll eat.
yeah. How far is Fort Worth from you?
It's 5 hours.
Okay. Yeah,
So
anywhere in Texas is still a trip.
it is, but it's so drivable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I drove to Madison, it was 19, and
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot.
No way.
Um, I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm gonna drive to Texas or not. It's actually shorter. It's like 15 hours to get to, Fort Worth
That's
from
still far
here.
though.
It is.
Mhm.
But I don't like, I love airplanes. I hate all the fees and bags and
And delays.
having to pack and delays, and then I don't have a car when I get there and all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So I like having the freedom of having, being able, okay, I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna go wherever I want.
Yeah.
So I'm weird like that. That's my weird thing. I'm gonna drive to North Carolina here, like I said, in a couple days.
Oh
And
wow.
so that's my thinking time. I get on the road, put on a podcast, put on some music, and just kind of zone out and have fun.
Love it.
Um, what are we kind of talked to I think we talked about music last time with you. What is some of your music go-tos for either just chilling or training, or what's your go-to?
They're all different. So chilling, like morning routine or evening nighttime routine. There's a playlist on Spotify called Coffee Shop Playlist, and it's just like easy listening with words, a little bit of jazz in there. Very easy listening. For cardio pieces, I have a playlist called High Intensity Interval Training that Spotify gives me.
Okay.
Oh, and some of the jams are awesome. Like the other day, I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston came on,
Yep.
but the like with a beat behind it, and then My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, but with a beat behind it. Um, Tiny Dancer, but with
Okay.
a beat behind it, like all of these good jams that you know the words to, but that just make you want to dance.
Yeah.
So cardio is always a good time because the music's awesome. When I'm doing my strength training, I put it like this. I'm building my outer strength the same time I'm building my inner strength. So I'll always have on worship music of my choice. So like Need to Breathe, Brandon Lake, music I
Yep.
like, not the old hymns that people picture in church. So
Yeah.
that's for strength training. And then usually from after workout until the end of the day, if we're in the car, if we're going somewhere, it's Blakely's choice. So Gabby Cat, Bluey, Pete the Cat, whatever she wants. I love music.
Yeah.
Personally, I probably listen to too much and I don't sit in silence enough. So I have to like remind myself that silence is good. Like you cannot have music. But the hardest thing, Rogue came down, filmed a few things in my gym, and they were like, "You can work out, but you're not allowed to have music." And that's the first time I had to do my hard, high intensity with no music.
Yeah.
And my husband was laughing so hard at me because in those moments, it's like, okay, one more round, just like whatever you can do to motivate yourself and talk. And he's like, do you always talk this much? You sound so foolish. But it was
Yeah.
literally like life or death. I can
They
do
they
this.
wouldn't let you put like an AirPod in or something?
You know
Like,
what? They would. But I was like, I'm so tough. I don't need music. I don't need AirPods. And I personally don't own any headphones without a wire connected to it. So
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm going all in, cold turkey, no
Gotcha.
music.
There are times as well that I like to just kind of like tune everything out.
Yeah,
So yeah, the quiet, it can be it's really weird at our gym if something happens and the music goes out, because like everybody's just like looking around and just like, I can't do this. And we would actually do we do some hero workouts where we would specifically actually do them in silence,
that's
so
great.
that we would, be remembering why and who,
Mhm.
who we're doing this, and doing this for, and what we're doing. We did that I think a couple times for 9/11. We would
Really
do a
cool.
9/11 tribute workout, and we're like, no music, nothing, like just work.
Yeah,
And it's nice. It's a nice change of pace sometimes, but like you said, I want something,
yeah,
kind of
destructive.
going.
Yeah. The last
Um,
workout, we left for Madison on a Sunday. Friday was the last full training day in the garage before we left for the games. We started the clock, a 40-minute EMOM, move, sweat. I'm not going to gain fitness or lose fitness the day before we leave for Madison.
yeah.
Halfway in, so 20 minutes in, the power shuts off at our house. And I'm like, okay, we have a choice. We quit the workout halfway, or we start the clock, keep going. Blakely's coming in saying, like, hey, mom, the movie shut off. And I'm
Mhm.
like, the worst thing that could ever happen happens the last training time before Madison. But it was so funny because it's never happened before.
Yeah. Do you listen to rock at all?
No, but if I'm doing a workout with my husband, that's his go to. So in the evenings, it's rock music for him.
Gotcha. So I will actually send you a link to a artist.
Okay.
He's a friend of mine actually, and he does praise and worship music,
Okay.
but it's like rock, and
Cool.
it's
Yeah,
like
send it to me.
really, really good. So I'll send it to you, and
Do it.
play around with it, see if you like it.
Yeah.
I actually like working out to it, and it kind of, like it has this ebb and flow to it that just kind of, you know, kind of throws me to another level. So I like it.
Love
So yeah, I'll send it to you. But so you've got, you said 3 weeks until Rogue,
Right.
and obviously you're going to win. That's not even a question. That's the
I'll tell you that I will be super happy with third place. It'll be a year of third place, but third place is great. Top 10 is great. Being healthy is great. Like, I have to talk myself down because I don't like to over dream or
yeah,
over talk it up. Like, it's just working out. It's just fitness.
and coming out healthy on
Exactly.
the other side. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the fleece that you laid out, you maybe don't want to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, I'll take second place or third.
I'll take second place. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Totally.
well, cool. What are some things that, like, is there anything that you have going on in the next year that you're, kind of want to shout out, or anything that, people need to be paying attention to, or looking that you have coming up?
October 18th is really big for me because
Yep.
it's a huge event with speaking. So I don't want to say once I get past it because I want to embrace everything I'm going to learn from it. After October 18th, I'll kind of like sigh a breath of relief, and then it's Rogue. And after that, I don't really have anything big coming up, which is actually very refreshing.
It's nice.
Yeah.
No big travel plans? Anywhere that you're wanting to go?
Potentially something in December, but it's not concrete yet. So why
Gotcha.
even talk about it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I just meant like vacation. I didn't know if it was like,
Oh,
something
we
that.
do. Yes, sorry. Since Blakely turned 3, we've been talking about going to Kalahari, which is actually right across from Rogue, a huge indoor water park.
Yes, I
So
will be there in February.
it seems legit. Yes, I
Yeah.
love that. We are going sometime this year.
So
Prefer, yeah.
yeah, there's an eyeglass conference. I work for a company, and I sell eyeglasses at doctors' offices.
Okay.
And there's a giant conference going on at the Kalahari Resort. So I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about because
Yes,
I looked it up, and I'm like, "This looks amazing. I
it's
can't wait to
amazing.
not work
Exactly.
and go hit the resort." So that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so every year, this will be the third year at Rogue. It's right in front of the venue. So we see it and we're like, we need to go there as a family. But like, we will go this year after Rogue.
Awesome.
We'll make it happen. Hopefully.
Awesome. Well, very cool. Ariel, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, hanging out with us, and people jumping in the chat, and always
Yes.
being so, so welcoming, and like I said, the sweetest person in CrossFit.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And hopefully, I'll be talking to you on the Wadapalooza podcast if everything
Yes.
goes well and I go for it.
Listen, if that happens, let me know.
Okay.
We can come on here and we can name it, do like we did last time.
Yeah, you did name it last time. That's
We
right.
did yeah, we did. The Humble Killers. That came
Okay.
from the podcast.
Good.
So, if you do end up, doing Wadapalooza, please let me know, because I'm going to be doing the Wadapalooza podcast as well, as well as that. I guess that's just an announcement, because I guess I just made the announcement. Hey, guess what, everybody? I'm the
Yeah.
new host of the new Wadapalooza podcast that is going to be coming out very, very soon.
Sorry.
Because I talked to you about that offline,
Oh,
completely
I'm
just.
so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It all flows together. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No. It's fine, because I was gonna announce it shortly as well.
Okay.
But yeah, we're in the works of relaunching the Wadapalooza podcast, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a weekly show. It's gonna be giving you all the information, all the dates, all the, behind the scenes of Miami and now California. So it's gonna be a really cool, a little cool journey going on with the new Wadapalooza podcast that's coming. So
Love
stay
it.
tuned. There will be announcements shortly.
I set you up perfect. I'm so
You set me
sorry.
up perfect. It's perfect. It's good. So,
Good.
but thank you so much, and best of luck with your speaking engagement. First of
Thank
all,
you.
I know that'll be awesome, and best of luck with Rogue.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Chat
Yep.
soon.
Yep. Talk soon.